With UK house prices rocketing and cost of living going up, many Brits are looking overseas for a more affordable dream life, and we were one of them. Last year, we took the plunge and bought a cheap house in an Italian village. We have been splitting our time between our home in a rural village in Sicily and our home in a rural village in England. And lately, we've been wondering, is Sicily better than the UK? Join us as we compare what life is like between the two, from cost of living to quality of life. Nature and architecture. I think we can all agree that both countries have both beauty and history, but in completely different forms.
So both of the villages that we live in, the centerpiece is a big church.
Yeah, both villages are also filled with historical buildings. So in the UK, the historical buildings, I would say, seem a little bit more maintained. I don't know if that's a bad word to use, but it is very kind of polished and proper and prim. Whereas when you go out to Sicily, it's a little bit more raw and rugged, and you have sort of these crumbly old walls.
I think this is the only time you'll hear us positively talking about crumbly old walls, because in most of our Sicily videos we are complaining continuously about crumbly old walls.
Because they're our crumbly old walls.
But I love other people's crumbly old walls. And there are similarities where they both have winding lanes, cobbled streets, and a slow pace of life. But there is a big contrast in the landscapes itself, and England is so green.
So green, so lush.
In Sicily is a lot more blues with the sky and the sea, and more yellows, maybe from the sun stains. One of the biggest differences between the two, and one of the main reasons that many Brits leave the UK, is searching for the sun.
Yes.
So the weather and the mood in the two different countries is very, very different.
Yeah. What initially might seem like one of the cons for the UK, I personally think is actually a pro. A lot of people hate the rain and the drizzle. I actually quite like the rain and the drizzle. I like those kind of moody afternoons where you're just tucked up with a cup of tea, keeping cozy inside while it's raining outside.
From personal experience, I dreamt of living in the sun until I moved to Bangkok. After a year of that, I realised that my body, over generation and generations, has been designed perfectly for the environment here in the UK. And in turn, the rain brings you so much green and the moss. But I also do need the sun.
Yes.
And with winter looming here in the UK, it's so depressing with the long, dark days.
Yeah, the clocks are about to change. And that means that it's going to be darker when we wake up in the morning. It's going to be darker earlier in the evenings, and the darkness does wear on you after a while.
With the weather becomes an impact on lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I find with Sicily, it is so encouraged to go and live outdoors.
Yeah.
And it just feels so natural, and being able to see our son run around and go to the beach, these like simple things create the best memories.
And one thing that I really love about the hot weather in Sicily and that gorgeous sunshine is the ability to eat outside. Eating outside, just to me, brings a whole another level to enjoyment of eating.
But with the bad weather here in the UK, it does bring us indoors, and we do have an indoor culture,
Yeah,
and
and
especially in the pubs.
So cozy. So cozy, sat by the fire, eating a nice roast dinner. I mean, I know a lot of Brits will love that feeling.
I think the lesson here, and the lesson always in life, is to be grateful.
Yes.
Like, you can find gratitude in anything.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm 100% guilty of this. I'm talking to myself here, and I'm calling myself out. I need to be more grateful for everything, and that includes the weather, the good and the bad. An important factor for us in deciding where to live is the cost of living and value for money. And you might be really surprised to find out that Sicily is actually more expensive than the UK in some areas.
For example, our electricity bills are way more expensive in Sicily than they are here in the UK.
And especially when you consider that we don't spend any time there and the electricity is off all the time. It's actually more expensive to just be on the grid there, and we pay 80 euros a month. Whereas in England, we pay about 60 when we use the electricity.
Yeah, it's mad. Also things like car hire, especially if you're visiting Sicily in the summertime or in peak season, can be extortionate.
Saying that, in almost every other aspect, Sicily is so much cheaper.
Yeah. For example, we love going out for coffee, whether we're at home or on the road.
Well, in Sicily, you can get 4 coffees for the price of 1 that you get in the UK.
Yes. And obviously, things like groceries, fresh produce especially, it's the quality you get for the amount you spend in Sicily is fantastic. Other really important factors to consider are things like childcare and housing costs, which are obviously dramatically more expensive in the UK than they are in Sicily.
Just for example, we could buy a house in Sicily outright.
Yes.
And okay, maybe the walls aren't there and the kitchen got destroyed and it's going to cost us more money, but we couldn't get even a brick for the price in the UK.
That's so true. I think for the amount that we're going to spend in its entirety on our Sicily property, including all the renovations, that probably wouldn't even cost us close to half of what we would need to pay for a house here in the UK. Pace of life. Now, both countries could not be any more on opposite sides of the spectrum with this one. And I feel like a lot of that is reflected in the country's values, because I really do feel that in the UK, we do really value productivity over presence, which is the complete opposite in Sicily. They clearly value human connection and presence and just being able to stop for a chat for an hour and that be completely okay. If somebody says something's going to get done now, it could be at any point that day, whereas in the UK now means now because we're all on a work schedule.
We were told recently by the architect that work would have started on our house about a month ago now, at the very latest. Well, 2 months has gone by since then, numerous chasing and nothing has happened at all.
Just paperwork, bureaucracy is happening, that's it.
So it's definitely testing my sanity. I claim to be a person that wants to slow down and wants to be present, and it's putting my money where my mouth is, because I don't know if I want to be that person, or I think maybe it serves the two parts of me, because there's one part that wants that and there's one part that doesn't, and Sicily represents the part that doesn't, and here in the UK represents the part that does.
Basically, England keeps you moving, always. Sicily forces you to slow down. So England is very sort of punctual, on time, politely stressed.
Politely stressed. That's me.
Whereas in Sicily, you have siestas, long lunches, and if you ever stop for a chat with somebody, you could be there 3 hours.
And that includes the fact that we don't speak Italian.
They're just talking at us for 3 hours and we're nodding.
And our British politeness keeps us there.
Yeah.
Like a deer in headlights.
Before we continue exploring the village, I wanted to share something with you that I have been using every single day, and that is my Wild Natural deodorant, which is why I am so pleased that they are the sponsors of today's video. I first switched to Wild a few years ago because I was looking for something that was natural but effective and didn't come wrapped in plastic, and honestly, I've never looked back since. It keeps me fresh through both English countryside walks and the super hot Sicilian sun, giving 24-hour protection with no harsh chemicals. So no aluminium, no parabens, just natural ingredients like shea butter and coconut oil to keep your skin happy. The refills are compostable, the case is reusable, and you can even choose your own design and personalize it. My favorite design is the bee case because it is super cute, and my current favorite scent is the Wildflower Bloom. If you haven't tried Wild yet, now is a really good time because you can get 20% off all Wild products when you use the code TRAVELBEANS20, but it is only for a limited time, so make sure to check that out as soon as you can, and we will leave a link down in the description below. I think the biggest difference between the two places is community and social life. I can't think of another category that's more different.
In Sicily, you belong whether you like it or not. Versus in England, it's a lot more privacy, a lot more reserved.
Yeah, you have to really work at it to be a part of the community in the UK. And
it can feel a little bit lonely and cold here. In Sicily, it feels very warm and welcoming, but in turn, maybe there's some slight lack of boundaries as well, from my perspective.
Yeah.
Like
well, we've grown up with British values and British boundaries, of which there are many.
One of them is that we don't just go up to someone's child and pick them up and start kissing them, at least without asking. And as much as I love our son being welcomed in Sicily, like, it's one of the best things about the place, it sometimes feels like it goes a little bit too far.
Yeah, there's points where it makes us feel a tad uncomfortable.
And with the language barrier as well, it's really difficult to communicate that. But it feels like you are welcomed straight away.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do anything. If you just happen to be there in the community, then you are part of the community.
Agreed. They don't even expect you to speak the language. You know, like if you try, great. If you don't, great. Like, they're warm and welcoming regardless of what effort you put in.
And I don't think we can say the same for the UK.
No, we're a little bit more reserved, a little bit more suspicious of people, I think, as well.
As always, we want to have our cake and eat it. We want the privacy and boundaries of the British life and shut everyone away, and we want no one to come to us.
When we feel like it.
But we desperately want connection and warmth. We just want a nice Goldilocks mix of the two.
Yeah.
And I think by jumping between the two, that we get it.
We get a bit of both. Anytime any of it gets too much, let's just go to the other place.
As we like to do when things get hard, just run away. That's just who we are as people. The last one is a controversial one.
It's the food culture. I don't think we can make this video without discussing the food.
Now, I know most people would instantly dismiss an English person's right to talk about food. And especially if they were to compare it to Italian food.
Shock, horror. We're gonna do it, guys.
And we might even say that England is better.
Steady on. Right, before we talk about Sicily, let's talk about England. Now, the food in England is bloody fantastic, you guys. Sure, we have some stuff that we're not quite so proud of. A lot of beige, but there is a lot of variety here. And I think out of the two, that's where England is winning, the variety that we have on offer.
I think when people attack English food, they're thinking about English dishes.
Like a fried breakfast.
Yeah, or like...
Which is also great.
You know, and maybe some of the food looks like we're still living off World War II rations. But if you go to the right pub, those World War II rations are delicious.
Yes, that's very true.
We have a wide variety of food from around the world, much like in the US.
I think that's one thing that we notice when we travel to a place for a longer period of time. After a while, we're really craving variety. So, I don't know, say we go to Thailand. We love the Thai food so much. But after a while, we want something different. It's the same in Sicily. We go to Sicily, after a while, as much as we love the food in Sicily, we're craving something different. We want some Chinese food, some Indian, some Thai, you know? I will say this though, I think in England versus Sicily, meal times do run the risk of feeling more like fuel in between tasks, as opposed to like this social event that you look forward to.
Yeah, in Italy and Sicily, food is part of the culture, and that is a thing that you get to take part in each day, a number of times a day.
With Sicilian food, it's very seasonal and simple, but even though it's simple, it packs so much flavour. It's so delicious, and there's actually a lot more variety to Sicilian food than I ever thought there was before going there.
Let's get this clear. Italian food and Sicilian food versus English food. Italian food is better.
Yes.
But when we're taking in the whole package...
Yeah, as a place to live.
I think England is better.
Wow. When we're talking about food culture, I feel like Sicily has to win every time. Because in Sicily, food is the culture. You know, so much revolves around the culture. Everyone's social lives and days revolve around food that I don't know how that can't win, hands down.
So, if you could only live in one place, where would it be?
It's really, really hard, the one place thing. Because I think for me, both places feed different parts of me. And I love having both of those options at hand. So it's really hard to pick. And also I think the stage of our life that we're in at the moment, we have a toddler, we have another baby on the way. Family is really important during this time. And sort of, I'm finding myself gravitating more towards my roots at this time. So I feel like if I had to choose, I would choose England. But Sicily holds a big part of my heart there too.
Yeah, I think maybe we don't really feel complete without both being in our lives, that we're always going to be travelers. We met traveling, we got engaged traveling, we built a life revolved around traveling. It's a huge part of us.
You might say we like it.
So leaving the UK and exploring different cultures is always going to be a big part of that. And Sicily was one of our favourite places in all our travels. So it's always going to nourish a side of us. And I think it's more about choosing, instead of where we want to live, like how we want to live at this stage in our life.
So we are curious, after all this waffling about England and Sicily, which would you prefer? Would you prefer living life in an English village or a Sicilian village? Or neither? Do you think they're both crap?
If you like the video, give it a big fat thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you're interested in wild, check the link down in the description below. And nothing left to say, but thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time, and beans out.